We are back with another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, going over the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. And it was a fun week last week. As per usual, we were ramping up the pace, picking up as much content as possible, and you were not short on fun and excitement, especially over the weekend. We're going to shuffle through these ones pretty quickly, short on time, but most importantly, get these announcements out and content for everyone to go over and make sure you never miss a beat in the supplement industry. No admin style today. We're just going to jump straight into it. I'm going to start off with news from MyQ. MyQ is the brand from Supplement Snoop, the industry veteran he's been around for a very, very long time. Great guy, incredibly onto it and very well informed. Has worked with numerous brands over the years and basically came out with his own one. I think was it last year, maybe the year prior? And the brand is called MyQ. And the point of it, or even the point of the first supplement, was very interesting. It's a nootropic supplement, but it's not the design for the traditional, immediate hit. Usually when you have nootropic supplements, the game is to kind of deliver a lot of focus in that first, pretty much rather initially or immediately. So, you can take it before gaming, you can take it before study, work, whatever, and you get a boost in focus and concentration. And yeah, that's heavily the primary purpose for a lot of these ones. But that wasn't the road that they took in MyQ. Supplement Snoop built his flagship product, Brain Food, if I remember correctly, for more. There was a bit of ingredients for those immediate benefits, but it was more of almost like a daily brain health supplement. It helped with memory, it helped with function, a lot of general health and on that side of things. And so it was geared towards delivering more of a long-term thing, sort of like you would take a multivitamin daily for vitality and general health and whatnot. This was built for that kind of thing, but for the brain or mental health. And they have just come out with a new version called Brain Food plus Electrolytes. And it's essentially a flavored version. So you get a lot of the same core ingredients that are from the original, plus a blend of electrolytes and the fact that it's in flavored powder. So it has that, basically it gives you the ability to drink it rather than throw down some capsules. And then you have that added benefit of there's a whole bunch of electrolytes in there to support hydration, performance, and recovery. So it's very much a hybrid flavored version. You can basically get a lot more in there. A lot of the core features are still very much the same. As I said, a lot of what's in the original has been carried over, those core things for focus, memory, and cognition. And that includes phosphatidylserine, quercetin, and transresveratrol. And they got different branded versions in there as well. But as I said, the electrolytes have been added, and it's not a huge amount, but it is a fair amount. You've got 100 sodium, 155 chloride, 100 milligrams of potassium, and 50 magnesium. And then there's also some prebiotic fiber in there as well. So it's very much a more complex premium version that really brings categories, like I said, electrolytes for hydration and then prebiotic fiber for gut health and digestion, bringing those in with that daily dose of brain health. So nice extension, very fitting for the brand, and you can get it. I believe it's out now. You can go grab it from the website. From there, we're going to jump over to the team at Barebells, who has been teasing the coming of a new flavor for quite some time. And someone had actually sent me a picture of this a while back, and I kind of forgot about it. And it wasn't until they started teasing it again, and then I kind of said, okay, so see if it's out there. And there were already a few retailers, supermarkets, and whatnot selling it. We hunted out a nice little picture, made it all pretty and whatnot, and then got it out to the viewers. It is for the Barebells protein milkshake, or milkshake, Barebells milkshake, whatever you want to call it. If you've ever had the chance to go to Europe or the UK, their protein RTDs are vastly more flavor focused. Not to say the ones in the US are not. They're very good. They taste on point or as good as they need to. But over there, they kind of put flavor first. It's almost like the difference between, I don't know, like the David bar versus the Barebells protein bar. Like you are getting functionality versus, and a taste that's not bad and very reasonable versus something that's very flavor first. And that's what you get with a lot of these protein shakes over there. And the Barebells one, hands down, is my favorite protein shake out there. I think Grenade's one's up there, but to be honest, you're splitting hairs because over there they're all damn good, at least the majority. And they've come out with a new flavor of the Barebells milkshake, and it is Caffe Caramello, or I'm not sure if this translates, if this is how you say it, but Caffe Caramello. Either way, it is a coffee blend, so coffee with caramel. So you're getting a nice, that familiar coffee taste in conjunction with the sweetness and saltiness of caramel. And if Barebells is known for anything, it's their ridiculous ability to nail a caramel sweetness and saltiness. And so I would imagine this taste is on point as the caramel in its salty peanut caramel cashew flavors, which it, again, does a ridiculously good job of. The macro is around about the same as all the other ones, with 24 grams of protein, 12.5 carbs, most of that sugar, 4.6 fat, and 193 calories. The next story we're going to jump over to, I just realized I had quite a few stories, but we're going to keep it nice and short and sweet here. I've got 5 in total now that I'm looking over it. Next, we're going to go over to Legendary Foods and keeping things functional. Legendary Foods didn't really announce anything, but someone alerted me to, well, not even, someone alerted me to the others, but the initial one I kind of saw when I was ordering the protein pastry. On Amazon, Legendary Foods has snuck a few previews up, and we basically shared them all. There's still one I think we're waiting to put up. I'm not too sure. So if you go on there right now and you go to the protein pastry, the protein donuts, you will see some upcoming flavors. And I'm not sure, like I'm imagining they didn't mind them being out there. Why would you put them on Amazon? And it's the official product listing and stuff like that. And so first up, there was an apple pie flavor previewed for the protein pastry. Then there was also a spicy cinnamon. And then there was for the protein donuts, a cookies and cream. Now all of these previews, as far as I know, are real products. The pictures are a little bit interesting because some of them have like spelling mistakes, off weights, but they fully listed, outlined, described on the Amazon pages. And if you go to our website and just type in Legendary Foods or go to the latest post from them, you will see we've got links directly to them, because a lot of people thought not real, fake news. And I understand that with a lot of the AI, artificial intelligence stuff out there now, it's very common to see something that's kind of made up and not real. But I can rest assured, and we've mentioned this many times on Stack before, at least in comments, we don't share anything that's not real, or at least, and we dive in to make sure it's real. The pictures may be something that we've created or crafted, but usually it's because we don't have one that's either as good or as quality as we would like to share. But you can rest assured everything we highlight has details and information back, and I make sure we see it before we share it. And so in this case, you don't really have any proof other than Amazon, which is pretty solid proof, I would say. So if you go on there, you can see listings for all of these flavors, and they look damn delicious, especially the apple one. But we tried to make them look extra delicious in all senses, but they look damn good. And they promote all of the same nutrition, so the protein, pastry, the apple, and then you have the spicy cinnamon. That'll have that 20 grams of protein, incredibly low net carbohydrates, and a sub 200 calorie count. And then the cookies and cream protein donut looks all by the looks of things, they've done it similar to the cinnamon one, which has like kind of a dusting or a covering of cinnamon. This seems to replicate that, but with cookie pieces all over the top. So it looks damn good, but as other people pointed out when we shared these, renders and previews aren't everything. If you've ever had protein snacks before, or just seen the marketing, or even seen wrappers, they don't always convert in real life. Like kind of like the social media things where you see what we saw on an influencer's page and then we visited it and so forth. So they don't always turn out as good as they appear, but it's exciting nonetheless, and impressive the amount of products that Legendary Foods has on the slate. 3, like I said, 3 flavors. There's one I think we've still yet to feature, which would be 4, but Legendary Foods clearly not resting on its reputation and just expanding even further and further. The second to last story we're going to touch on comes from TC Nutrtion in Canada. So they teased and revealed this pretty damn quickly. I was quite surprised because when they teased it, I went looking, couldn't find much of anything, and then literally, then within hours, it was revealed and we shared it shortly after. And so basically TC Nutrition is coming out with an energy drink. And in our initial post on the teaser, we were suspecting, is this going to be like TC Energy? Or is this going to build on a name of something they already have, like their pre-workout batch 27? And it turned out to be precisely the latter. They unveiled the Batch 27 energy drink, and it's going to come in 4 flavors. I'm just going to bring it up now just to make sure I don't miss any. Miami Vice, Rainbow Sherbet, Bomb Pop inspired Rocket Pop, and Miami Vice. And we did actually manage to get hold of the formula because it wasn't initially revealed what was going to be in it. And to be honest, if it was just called TC Energy, I would have thought, okay, cool, caffeine, taurine, whatever. And they didn't really make too many major call outs. However, it's called Batch 27. So the big question was, is this going to be like the Batch 27 energy drink? Are we going to get a variety of ingredients thrown in the mix like we see with the pre-workout, obviously? And they were kind enough to send over the formula. And it is, to be honest, it's not as complex as I expected, but then it's also not as simple as it could be. So every can of the Batch 27 energy drink has 180 milligrams of caffeine. I'm trying to double check that because I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. But yeah, 180 milligrams of caffeine, in a full can. A variety of B vitamins, a gram of taurine, and then for a bit of focus and cognition, you've got vitacholine, choline bitartrate, providing 110 milligrams of choline. So kind of like, I guess, not to the extent of Bum Energy or even Ghost, but it definitely walks that line of it's not just caffeine, taurine, and whatever. And they have quite nicely provided dosages for the taurine. So again, like usually you just get it all wrapped up in a blend. They were kind enough to rattle it all off. Obviously, you get the 180 milligrams of caffeine, and then they said a gram of taurine, and then that 110 choline from vitacholine. So it's a nice mix of energy and focus in the one beverage with, of course, and I say this all the time, but when you get an energy drink from a supplement company, it goes without saying. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen one that didn't do this, where it kept it to no sugar, low calories. Like you see, obviously, mainstream beverages going that route where they do full sugar, and some of them are just horrific. You can get up to 60, 70 grams of sugar in a can. And knowing how good the zero sugar ones taste, it's a bit tough to want to try them. But usually when it comes from a supplement company, like it's established as TC Nutrition, it's no wonder it's zero sugar, and I think it's 5 calories a can, regardless of which one of the flavors you grab. Now, finishing things off, we have what was quite an interesting announcement, a product that as soon as we saw it, we just thought we need to get this up. The product is Man Cereal, and obviously it catches attention. It's, we see a lot of products that call out specific audiences and people, and you got gamers that are singled out in supplements, you get CrossFit, you get endurance, you get, I guess even, obviously a lot of them are naturally promoted for muscle building and bodybuilders, but you almost always see them when it's calling out a gender, it's female. This is one of the rare times where you've got a product that flat out called it Man Cereal. And I thought it was very interesting. It was what caught my attention. And it's not just a name as well. So I got to give it up to them. They didn't just rest their name and do something that we had seen before. They've actually done quite an interesting job with their signature product. And I think it's even more interesting the fact that we're not talking about a protein bar here. If this was Man Protein Powder, Man Protein Bar, Man Pre, they've gone about it. They've done Man Protein Cereal. So this is indeed a functional breakfast cereal. It comes with round, I guess, spherical puff pieces, your traditional, one of the traditional styles and formats of cereal. And inside each serving, and we haven't seen the full nutrition profile, which is key, but I don't imagine the other macros or the things that we don't know are too out there, too wild, mostly because of the focus here. So in a serving of this product, you're going to get 16 grams of protein, and it says primarily, if not entirely, from whey isolate. So this isn't that's an impressive feat as well, to not do the lesser quality proteins, I guess, even to go all out whey isolate. Then you have no sugar and a gram or less, I think I've messed up. 5 grams of total carbohydrates, a gram or less of net carbohydrates, and then 2.5 grams of creatine monohydrate. And that was the catch there. Obviously, we've seen protein cereals that go high in protein, moderate in carbohydrates. Here, this one, you've got, again, low net carbs, no sugar, low carbohydrates overall, which will likely result in minimal calories. If we're looking at 16, what's that? 64 calories from the protein, and then you've got, a gram of net carbs. So you might be looking at 70, and then whatever the fat brings to the table, you might be looking at around 100 calories, if give or take. Again, I'm just making this up. I don't know for sure, but I suspect it's going to be pretty minimal calories with that protein, low sugar and moderate carbs. But it is the creatine. The creatine is the thing that caught me. That was the name Captive caught my attention. The creatine was what surprised me, because we've seen functional breakfast cereals before. I don't think I've ever seen one with creatine in it. We've seen functional foods. There's a lot of protein bars out there with creatine in the mix. I have not seen a cereal with creatine to go to that extent, to add that extra functionality. And then obviously you pair it with the name Man Cereal. I got to give an applause, give credit where credit's due. They really didn't, like I said, they could have just done Man Cereal and done very obvious. Could have made it a mass gainer cereal, 30 protein, 50 carbs, whatever. But to go to the extent that they have, make it one of the leaner protein cereals I've seen, and then also add creatine to the mix, they're looking to do something to stand out. Now, the product is not available just yet. It is still coming soon, but it is very much happening. According to everything they've got out there, it's very real. It's coming in 2 flavors, I believe it was called. Maple bacon was one. The other one looks to be like a strawberry or a berry. They didn't really name that one. Maple bacon was the only one that they kind of put a name to. But head to our website, look up Man Cereal. You will see it. You can read about it, learn more about it, and you can bet that when more information becomes available, we'll definitely share it, including where to get it. But for this episode, this is a relatively quick episode. For this episode, that is it. As always, catch up on everything that was shared here and more. We're throwing out as much as 15 stories a day from all around the world. New products, flavors, spin-offs, special editions, collaborations, you name it, we do it. All we ask is you just visit the site, stay up to date, take part in the social media, the rewards program, and even the game that we're going to be finally pushing through to finish shortly. Share with your mom, dad, brother, sister, friends, family, cats and dogs, whatever. And as always, thank you for listening, and look forward to having you back next time.